You ever see a grown woman in a tennis skirt go absolutely feral with a crowbar at 6 in the morning? Because let me tell you, it's not something you forget, especially when she's your HOA president, and that crowbar is coming down on your visitor's pickup truck like she's smashing watermelons at a summer carnival. There I was barefoot in my driveway, pajamas flapping, yelling, "What are you doing?" at the top of my lungs while Victoria Pettinilla, that's her one to town. First, she shattered the windshield, glass everywhere. Then the side mirror, gone with a single swing. And when I finally shouted whose truck it actually was, she just froze, crowbar dangling, her pristine white skirt streaked with oil and something that looked a whole lot like karma. Maybe you're wondering what kind of person would lose it so publicly in front of half the neighborhood. Well, pull up a chair. Let me back up, because this mess was years in the making. I am really Castellanos. 18 months ago, after a divorce that left my wallet and spirit pretty well emptied, I bought a little house in Willowbrook Estates. It looked like every suburban dream-trimmed lawns, swing sets in the backyards, birds chirping, and HOA dues that seemed reasonable. I thought I'd found a place to put myself back together. What I didn't know, what nobody tells you until it's too late, is that Victoria ran Willowbrook like her own personal dictatorship. She was a realtor by day, tyrant by night. The kind of lady who wears perfume strong enough to warn you 3 houses away that your trash cans are half an inch out of line. Her husband? Retired cop. She dropped that into conversation like she was flashing a badge herself. You get the idea. My welcome packet included a ticket $150 for a mailbox color violation. I Chiquetzo did every other mailbox on the block. Turns out, mine was faded navy blue, which if you squinted, apparently violated section 4.2.7. I was new, tired, just trying to get by, so I wrote the check. Mistake number 1. See, Victoria had a system. She'd go after the folks least likely to put up a fight, single people, minorities, the quiet types. Mrs. Chin's tomatoes were too ethnic. The Johnson's garbage cans were never quite right. Meanwhile, her friends could park RVs for months. I learned quick that her husband's pension wasn't stretching far enough, and those HOA consulting fees and vendor kickbacks kept her lifestyle cushy. Then I met Maria, and that changed everything. Smart, funny, beautiful, and way out of my league, honestly. She drove a government-plated pickup, and before long, she was spending nights at my place. That didn't fit Victoria's vision for the neighborhood. Suddenly, guest parking rules changed overnight now. Any vehicle on the street for more than 2 days got hit with a $75 a day fine. Maria's truck was parked there 3 days that week. I got slapped with a $225 bill. Maria, who always had this way of cutting through nonsense, asked, "Did the board vote on these new rules?" Good question. Turned out, Victoria was making it up as she went along. I started walking the neighborhood, documenting every guest vehicle. Guess what? Victoria's son's college buddies parked for a week. Her book club filled the block, but not a single violation. Meanwhile, Mrs. Chun and the Johnsons got dinged for every visitor. When I formally complained and requested meeting minutes, the sweet old HOA secretary accidentally sent me Victoria's personal emails in black and white. That Mexican guy is becoming a real problem. His truck-driving girlfriend makes the place look like a trailer park. For the record, I'm Spanish-American, San Antonio born and raised, and my undesirable element was a government issue Ford. That's when I realized I had a civil rights case on my hands. Maria read those emails, went quiet, and said, "Riley, this is big. You need to keep documenting everything." So I did. Neighbors started sharing their own stories. Victoria must have felt the ground shifting because she went from petty to nuclear. When she couldn't get me for parking, she hit me with landscaping fines. My crime? 3 dandelions in the front yard. Meanwhile, Victoria's brother-in-law, only approved vendor, kept her lawn perfect for free. I started replacing my lawn with native plants, protected by water conservation laws. When she sent her county inspector, her brother-in-law again, in a fake shirt, I asked for his credentials and watched him flee faster than a cat from a cucumber. But Victoria wouldn't quit. She started handing out fines for everything: garbage bins, window blinds, imaginary oil stains, even noise complaints for pets I didn't have. Each fine came with processing and inspection fees. She was churning out paper faster than a copy machine on Black Friday. So I filed a public records request for HOA financials. What came back made my jaw drop. Her salary had tripled, consulting fees to shell companies, vendor contracts inflated by 400%. She was literally photoshopping timestamps on violations. Maria, by then, was basically my partner in crime fighting. One day, someone slid a manila envelope under my door: Victoria's credit card debt, real estate license suspension, even her divorce papers. The note inside read, "She's stealing from all of us. Time to act." We built a case, stacking up evidence like sandbags before a flood. Maria started dropping hints she knew a little too much about financial crimes for just a paralegal. One night, as I was buried in spreadsheets, I found it, the original HOA charter. Turns out, Victoria had been jacking up fees way beyond the legal limit: over $10 million stolen from 847 homes. That's not mismanagement, that's a record-breaking heist. I called Maria, told her everything, and finally asked, "Who are you, really?" She paused, then told me the truth. She was the district attorney for Riverside County. She'd been investigating Victoria for 2 years. My case? The missing puzzle piece. You ever get the feeling that your life just turned into a Netflix special? That was me, realizing my girlfriend had been building a federal racketeering case in the background while I was thinking I was the underdog hero. Together, we planned the takedown. We organized a town hall meeting, inviting every neighbor back by local news, federal investigators, and more evidence than you could fit in a U-Haul. Victoria tried everything: destroying records, calling 911 on me, even jacking up fees for an emergency assessment. The final straw was her crowbar meltdown. My security cameras caught every swing as she destroyed Maria's truck federal property. That alone carries mandatory prison time. The day of the meeting, the community center was packed. Victoria strutted in, ready to run the show. She accused me of conspiracy, tried to paint Maria as a criminal. I let her talk, then stood up and laid out the evidence: embezzlement, fraud, discrimination, racketeering. The room went dead silent. When the video of her crowbar attack played, you could hear her support base collapse in real time. Then Maria walked in, flanked by federal agents, and arrested Victoria on the spot for everything from civil rights violations to destruction of government property. The cameras flashed, the handcuffs clicked, and just like that, 8 years of suburban tyranny ended in a walk of shame right out the community center door. Justice, I'll tell you, doesn't always move fast. But when it finally arrives, it hits like a freight train. Victoria lost everything: her freedom, her license, her husband's pension. The neighborhood got its money back, new leadership, and actual transparency. Folks who'd been scared to speak out started attending meetings, running for the board, making this place feel like a real community for the first time. Maria and I, we're still together. Turns out, fighting for what's right is a solid foundation for a relationship. I learned that silence is the best friend of a bully, and that ordinary people, when they document and organize, can bring down the biggest tyrants in town. Now, our neighborhood has a garden where Victoria's mansion used to loom over us, and the only thing spreading through Willowbrook these days is lavender and laughter. So let me ask you, since you stuck with me this far, what would you have done if your HOA president tried to ruin your life? Where's the line between standing up and just surviving? Ever tangled with a neighbor or an HOA and come out the other side? Drop your wildest story, or just tell me, do you think karma finally caught up to Victoria? Or did we let her off easy? I'm dying to know.
Cảm ơn tất cả các bạn đã xem video.